Okay, the final
Chihara?
the final one of this batch, Chihara, yeah. Chihaya.
Chihaya Mifune.
Yeah.
Fortune Arcana.
So, Chihaya I met at the point in the game where I had managed to finally figured out the pattern that if they had a character portrait, they were probably a confidant. So she is like one of the first. She was one of the first ones I saw that I was like, "Oh, is this gonna be a confidant?" Without like any, just from the first meeting.
Slams hands on table. You were able to see into the future. It's like, what?
No. She can't actually do that.
She can't actually do that.
But yeah, Chihaya is a fortune teller that you go to in the red light district. I don't know why she's there specifically, but she convinces you to buy a 100,000 yen holy stone, roughly like a grand-ish in dollars. Yeah. Because you are absolutely doomed. You know, this is the only thing that can save your life. And you get home and accidentally it gets crushed in your backpack and you realize it's just made out of salt. And you go back to confront her and I'm trying to remember what
she can't get a rundown on that because it goes to her mega church.
Yeah, she can't give a refund. And she ends up another not patron, customer comes to her during this and is like, I think you actually go to her while she's doing one. I don't know. Either way, she does a reading for somebody and it says, "Oh, this bad shit's going to happen." And Ren's like, I think you have a Mementos mission for that one. That you go and change.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a Mementos mission right near the start of hers.
Yeah.
And you go and you change their fate, and then she does a reading for them again. It's like, wait, your future changed. What the heck? And Ren just like giggles, and she's like, okay, I need to figure out how you could change the future.
Yeah, giggles and Phantom Thief.
So this consists of her having you sit by her during readings and just try to change the future just by talking to them, which ends up working because it's pretty much, oh, they're screwed because they already think they're screwed and they have defeatist situation, but you convince them to have the confidence to actually try a thing, and what do you know? Now their future says they're gonna actually succeed because they have confidence to actually try to succeed. It's very much you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's like the people are failing because they don't try because their future says they'll fail. And there's really a lesson to be had there in that you control your own fate. And of course, that's a hard concept for her as a fortune teller because her career kind of rests on fate being fixed or only able to affect it through spiritual means. But you kind of convince her otherwise, and so she tries to like go to her boss and be like, hey, I think we're scamming people, and he's like, yeah, we're scamming people, and you're gonna keep doing it, and or you're gonna live on the streets. And she's like, oh crap.
Well, I'll let everybody know that you're the monster of your village.
I'll ruin your reputation by
Yeah.
feeding you the lie that you've been fed yourself for your life. Mm-hmm. Because she was known as the monster in her village because of her ability to predict disaster. She's Absol. And,
she is Absol.
And so you obviously have to go step in, change Guy's heart, and then she's able to properly give everybody refunds.
And most importantly to whatever you're about to say, she can give you a refund for that salt.
Shit. Oh yeah, that time she gave me that refund, I was like, girl, keep it. I have over 3 million yen in my pocket right now.
Yeah, no, the 100,000 yen is rough at the beginning of the game, but yeah, by the time that you get it back, you're like, really? What am I gonna buy? 2 guns? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy like 1 medicine.
Yeah, 1 patch.
But yeah, so and then she all the people in her organization, she's like tries to like get them to realize that it's all a con, but they're too brainwashed, and that shit'll take time. But unrelated, but also very, very important, she has a heavy southern accent when she gets worked up.
Yeah.
That is 100% important. I imagine in Japan it's their equivalent of the southern accent that like a lot of Heart has in Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
But the reason that's important is because it's absolutely adorable and I love it, and I wish she wouldn't hide her accent. The guide I was following even had me like go on dates with her a couple times for I don't know what reason. And like I was always thrilled when she randomly would get flustered and break into her accent. That being said, she, like I said, I really like her accent. I like her character arc. I've said early on that I like sketchy characters, and she comes off very sketchy for a while. I like that even though she is an adult, she's only like 20 years old, so it's not as bad that she did. It's still bad she dated a 16-year-old, but yeah, she's not like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's hard for me to imagine Chihaya even comfortably initiating intimacy. And also, what was the last thing about her? I don't know, I already mentioned that accent. Overall, I really liked her as a character, and I thought at that point, if Takemi and Hifumi didn't exist, she would have been my next choice to romance. I think she's a really cute character, and I like how she's written. I like how her character arc goes. And
Agreed.
I like her powers are super useful.
Yeah. It's like on par with Kawakami.
Yeah, she is one of the most useful ones in the game.
Especially in Royal, and especially if you're not following a guide, because one of her powers is to
raise
highlight correct options in Confidant.
Oh yeah, once you max her out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would put her right at the high A, barely below S though.
I was gonna say yeah, like at the very tip of A, below S for
get
me as
there.
well.
Chihaya is just great. She's a little sweetheart too. She's super innocent. She doesn't, even though she's scamming people, she doesn't realize she's scamming people. So like,
yeah, she thinks she's doing right.
Yeah, and she's like legitimately trying to help people. And yeah, and she has a cute accent. Okay, well, now time for a music change. Let's switch to where was this one I was going to do? Where is it? We're gonna get into the party members now.
Oh, we're leaving for last then?
We're leaving the royal ones for last.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that.
So first, the first party member you kind of meet, in a way,
Yeah.
at least has access to Persona, and the one that teaches you a lot of the mechanics of the game, Morgana. Morgana is a cat that insists he's not a cat, but really he's just all the hope of humanity. Anime.
Yeah.
You meet him in the first palace, and he teaches you how the game works. He's an anthropomorphic cat, with the golden ratio head.
Yeah.
And he somehow figures out how to come in out of the metaverse into the real world in form of cat and shape of cat.
Form of cat, shape of cat.
And he spends most of the game, other than being the tutorial person, which, by the way, he just intuitively knows all the stuff that he teaches you in tutorials. He's never done any of it, really. He's just like, oh, well, because this is a cognitive reality, it probably would do this.
Mm-hmm.
But additionally to that, he's unsure what he is and trying to remember. He insists he's a human because he wants to insist he's a human. He wants to be a human. And he has weird nightmares of him, like, being born in mementos.
Yeah.
But he thinks the truth is whatever's deep in the mementos will tell him what he is.
I was gonna say in the Japanese he uses Chihaya as pronouns.
Oh yeah, I think you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you that, and I mentioned that in the Ace Attorney game.
Yeah.
Because Wakahai is like Bowser uses it as well, but it's from Natsume. What was his name? Soseki?
Sosuke?
Soseki Natsume, right? He wrote I Am a Cat.
Yeah.
And Wakahai is like a very like pompous, like self-referential, like royal way to refer to yourself. And
if you're a cat,
Morgana does that. Yeah, to refer to that specific book, and he turns into a bus because of the cat
Totoro.
Bus from Totoro. Yeah, because cognitively, people assume cats can turn into buses at a deeply psychological level because of Hayao Miyazaki.
And spoiler endgame thing, but he also turns into a helicopter near the end because cognitively they want him to turn into a helicopter. They believe he can.
They believe he can, therefore, whatever.
They really underuse that ability. Like, they should have just realized they could literally have anything they want to happen if they just believe it. But,
yeah, 100%. But that was that's a royal edition. In the original, he could not.
Oh, yeah, but they didn't believe he could in the royal edition.
Yeah, they just didn't believe in him in the original.
Yeah. But, So, but it turns out that he's actually born in mementos and is the hope of humanity that Igor gathered before being imprisoned to send to get the trickster to get Ren and save the world. And overall, I think he, like, if I imagined the game without him, I don't think it would be as nice. I think he has an important place in the party, in conversations, his personality. He gives this level of knowledge and confidence that I think the rest of the balances out the characters that otherwise don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Even if it is kind of contrived that he just knows because he intuitively does it because he's hope or something. I don't think he's. I'd put him B. I would put him B tier.
Yeah,
and
I'd
put him below Kawakami. He's not one of my favorites, but I like him.
Mine's also B tier, but my B tier looks way different than yours. He's higher. We only have 2 on B tier right now, and he's above Oya. I think he's useful, but like I said before, he's an automatic rank. So like it's like a lot of his rank ups are plot related, so like it becomes very nebulous of like, is the Confidant his plot, or is the plot his Confidants, or how do you separate them?
Well,
So
and
objectively,
they definitely don't necessarily at those points feel like you learned anything about him or got any closer. It's just that that's when it decided to raise.
yeah. So I like him as a character, and I think his Confidant, because of its inextricable connection to the plot, is obviously going to be decent, but because it's automatic, it can't be anything bigger than B or C. So
I do have to say one thing about him that I did not really like was his obsession with An. It felt really unsettling, especially after he realized he was never human and is just hope manifested.
Yeah,
and that he will be a cat forever. And I'm like, oh, what do you expect? You're a cat.
It's one of those things where, like, Atlas, or at least the Persona franchise, has like this very specific obsession with like pervy, cute things.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of pervy, he doesn't get too bad.
Yeah, it could definitely be worse.
He just is always like, I'll protect Lady Ann, and maybe Lady Ann will date me. Like, the most he ever says is that maybe she'll date him. She's never like, oh, she will bear my children, or something weird.
Oh, no!
I said he never says that!
I'm glad he doesn't.
I'm just saying, in terms of perviness, it's barely to pervy.
Yeah, it could be.
It's only pervy if you think about it.
Anime standards, yeah.
Anyways, apparently we're going to Makoto next. Oh, this is...
Oh, I organized them by the order that we get them in the game.
Oh, okay, sure, we'll do them like that, but I am doing Futaba last because they'll have a music change.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, sure, let me just... Oops,
yeah,
that is wrong order. Stop.
Matt Mercer...
where's on?
Makoto, Haru, and Akechi. In that order.
Okay, so Ryuji. Ryuji, as we established, occasionally has a brain cell.
Yeah, every other weekend and in Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And he mostly uses that he used to mostly use that brain cell to run. He still can kind of run, just not as well. And he was on the track team, and the reason he can't really run anymore is he stood up against what's Kamoshida when Kamoshida was abusing the team. He hit Kamoshida, and in response, Kamoshida broke his leg, which is super fucked up.
Wild, yeah. Persona 5 does not play around in making you hate their villains.
Yeah, but also, like, why did Kamoshida not go to jail for literally breaking the bone of a... Even if it's retaliation, it's a minor. But I get it. He was gold medalist, pride of the school, blah, blah. Anyways, Ryuji, his personality is he angry? Always? No, he has two emotions. He's angry or he wants meat. That's an emotion.
Also, three emotions. He's angry, he wants meat, and he's a phantom thief.
I guess, but usually
Everybody
that's the phantom thief one is at the same time as the other stuff.
Yeah, for real? That's also a thing.
Obviously he's fine as a party member, and his abilities are party member abilities. He does have the great ability in to make one-shot battles.
Battle.
That probably shaved dozens of hours off my playtime.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't get nearly as much experience, but doesn't matter because you're just literally bulldozing through enemies. Yeah,
with how quickly you can bulldoze through mementos and level up, I was like leveling up every couple minutes the entire party, so it didn't matter. Yeah. That's the upside about him. And otherwise, he's not an offensive character. He's not a character I dislike. but he is a very simple character, and there's not much for me to like. He just kind of like he's comic relief sometimes, and he has some really good comedic timing sometimes.
Yeah. And there's that big fake, twist at the end where he sacrifices himself.
Oh yeah, well, where he to get the lifeboat.
Yeah, like that tugs on your heartstrings a little bit. For sure. It
Yeah,
for me.
What? It
definitely did for me when I played it.
Well, yeah, I was like, no, Ryuji, you were probably my least favorite party member, but I actively did not dislike you.
You're a dumbass, but you're my dumbass. No.
But yeah, no, he's good. It's a case where there's just I like almost all the characters in the game.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, I think by that regard, I'd have to put him in C. And I'd probably put him above Tora here. But, like, he's fine. I just wish he would relax for 2 seconds. I get so frustrated with how much he's yelling angrily at everything.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like, definitely. Oh my god, did you see that bird that just flew too close to me? Freaking, I want to kill everybody. What the heck? Like, dude, calm down.
No, for sure. I agree. I would say, I think his Confidant, like his character is like not my favorite. His Confidant is pretty good with the growth of him, like confronting his past about, the whole track team and like owning up to the things that he did. Obviously, well, they weren't even bad, but like he feels responsible for a lot of the bad things about the team, and it's trying to make amends for it.
Even if it's by having them beat up him.
Yeah, right? Like, and that's like the most Ryuji thing you could do. It's like, yeah, we're friends because they beat the shit out of me, and it's like, dude.
I guess he's a self-aware punching bag.
Yeah, right. But like I would say I like him, but I like his Confidant more than I like Sai's Confidant, but I don't like him more than I like Sai for context. So I'm gonna put him higher than her, but still C tier.
Yeah, I didn't talk much about his Confidant. You kind of covered that. I honestly, years from now, when I don't remember 90% of this game, the only thing I'll probably remember about Ryuji is him shouting at everything.
Yeah.
So, it'd just be like,
that's fair.
There's a locked door? What the heck? Life sucks. Why is everything all so awful? Ugh! The key's over there. Yeah, but we have to walk over there! It's the principle of the thing. God! Fuck! There was like one time he said like frick instead of fuck, and I was like, why did you arbitrarily choose not to swear this time?
I was gonna say, yeah, Ryuji can say fuck.
He says it a lot, but once he says frick. I don't remember where it was. I just remember he once said it. I was like, what? What?
No, yeah, definitely. I feel like that's like naughtier coming out of his mouth.
Okay, well, next is On. Lady On.
Takamaki. Lady On.
The one that
supermodel.
Yeah, that everybody wants to see naked, apparently. It's very unsettling because her friends want to.
Yeah.
I like On. When I first met On, even though I knew she was a party member because it's hard to escape at least the first few, knowing who the first few characters are.
Yeah.
This far into life.
The cover of the game like shows you the characters,
I'll be honest, I don't look at the covers of any games that have story. Like, I literally tune them out.
Oh.
Especially because JRPGs very often show the full party, and I don't want to know that.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, like, even me playing Persona 5, vanilla, like, I knew all the party members because I saw the cover. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I literally tune it out. I've gotten to the point, I pretty much could not tell you who's on the cover of most RPGs because I tune them out for, it's part of my brain that's like doesn't want spoilers, just like the cover's spoilers.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's 100% fair.
But I knew by then On was going to be a playable character. Still, I didn't know much about her, and at first I didn't like her because she seemed very snobby. of course, that was just kind of how everybody perceived her. And when they were like, "Oh, she's sleeping with the gym teacher," I was like, "Okay, that seems like a stretch." And then I got to know her, and she's a bit of a nerd, honestly. Great.
Yeah.
Like she part of her Confidant is about how she looked up to this superhero on TV that was like this powerful, like implied, like maybe like Sailor Moon like character, like magical girl. That's like a.
Well, I don't know if you caught it. It was actually the villain.
Oh no, she said that too. First, she said that she wanted to be like this hero. It was when she was talking about a different character that she said, "Oh, she's just like the villain from that."
Yeah.
And she envied that too. So
Mm-hmm.
I think she just envied powerful female characters, which is ironic because she becomes a very powerful female character. But of course,
well, her
character.
persona Carmen is also, a very powerful female character.
Yeah.
So,
well, she's only Carmen at the start, but
yeah. Well, then Hecate is also a powerful female character, and then La Celestina. I don't know what do they call her, Celestine, in the game.
I guess I don't remember third stage.
It's just that's also a very powerful female character.
Yeah.
Like, it's like very, very on brand.
Yeah, her character arc is all about her, mostly about, well, it's about two things, really. One is about her modeling, and she wants to kind of, not necessarily save the world, but change the world positively through her modeling.
Yeah, like at first she's just like, it's just,
it's just a hobby.
part-time thing, I don't really care about it.
And ironically, there's one particular character that inspires her to actually get serious about it. A character that a lot of people hate. I don't know. Are we still going to do the character list?
I mean, I'm not 100% sure. It's up to you.
It's up to you. I think it'll go faster, but
yeah, we can go through it.
Okay, so I won't say anything about the other character, but that's the first thing is she wants is a modeling. The other thing is
I don't think the
Shiho.
character's on this list.
What?
I don't think the character you're referring to is on the list. I'm looking at the character.
It is. You might be thinking of a different character.
You talk about the rival model, right?
Mika?
Yeah.
I might have linked you the wrong list then. I'll have to check after.
Yeah, she's not on this one.
Either way. So yeah. The other thing about her character arc is her best friend Shiho, who in the first arc, the first villain, Kamoshida, Shiho was, I don't think it was even implied, I think it straight up basically said she was sexually assaulted by Kamoshida.
Kamoshida.
Mainly because Kamoshida wanted An, and An refused. And so instead he assaulted Shiho, and Shiho tried to unalive herself off a building. And didn't die, but had to be taken to the hospital and go through rehabilitation, probably because she broke her legs or something. And that became An's big motivating factor. That is why she awoke to her persona. That is what gave her the strength to stand up to Kamoshida, because her best friend was literally fucked over by this man.
Oof.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say fucked over, but I was like,
I mean,
either way,
it's not an incorrect statement. It's just like it's so on the nose, don't you think?
Unfortunately, but I mean, An uses it to grow stronger, and yet the entire time that she becomes this powerful woman changing the world, she's looking up to Shiho. She thinks Shiho's the strong one. She's like, Shiho is the one that's giving her the one that's going through all that rehabilitation and pulling through after all she went through. And it's just kind of cool how An continually becomes a stronger character and always just looks outward instead and is like, no, I want to be strong like superheroes. I want to be strong like Shiho. And the only downside is she's unfortunately a little, her rank 9, at least if you want to go romance, gets a little overshadowed, I feel, by Ren in her starting a relationship when she's saying goodbye to Shiho. Or after she said goodbye to Shiho. I don't know. But overall, I think she's a very strong written female character. I do wish she wasn't sexualized by male characters, especially the party members, so much.
Yeah.
But one, it's anime, and two, that's unfortunately what a lot of guys do, and so it's realistic.
Yeah. Well, it's also like one of those things where part of the leitmotif of the Phantom Thieves is that their persona allows them to embody the appearance and the mask of rebellion as they see what a rebellious person would be. Like, so that's why everybody's costume is unique, because it's like their own interpretation of what a rebel is.
Yeah.
So for An, it is somebody who uses their sexuality as a weapon, as opposed to like it's vulnerable because of it.
True,
So
I didn't think
like,
of it that way, but yeah, her skin tight latex
dominatrix
yeah.
outfit. Yeah, so like that's like it's like literally designed into her character to like be a sexualized object, which is, like you said, very unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but it's also, she uses it as empowering, and
yeah,
that's a whole different discussion on.
Yeah. I mean, us two men to just keep it simple. I don't think that's a question a discussion I'm qualified to speak as much on. Yeah.
But I do appreciate her as a character and think she's a fairly strong female character. And I would put her A rank.
With other women, then great. You know, if she was not written with women helping, then that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, I'd put her right there, roughly in the middle of A rank.
I agree. I think I would say below Caroline and Justine, just because I don't think her skills really do much. It helps get bargains and negotiations and a chance to cancel enemy attacks.
I will say her canceling enemy attacks have actually saved me multiple times.
Yeah.
She seduces them just at the right time, and I just like, does the game know that I was about to die? It was like, let's give them a chance. But okay, Yusuke.
Yusuke Kitaro,
Yusuke.
Member, sir.
Not poor innocent Yusuke. So Yusuke is an artist, and like all artists, he doesn't understand reality.
Yeah, that's a very polite way to say it.
He serves under Madarame, at least at the start of the game, a supposedly famous artist who, it turns out, plagiarized all his work from his pupils. Mm-hmm. And the kind of, like, Yusuke is really hard to convince to join the party, probably the hardest one, because he's so devoted to Madarame. Like, he is so devoted to Madarame that the royal post-game content is about him getting past that. Through the entire game, like, I noticed repeatedly he would accidentally call Madarame his sensei and then correct himself. So, like, that was very deliberate. He was having a lot of trouble getting past Madarame having been a negative person in any way to him. But they managed to convince him to join after he finds out about Madarame's distortion and distorted desires and stuff, and I've used others. And though the real sticking point that I remember pretty clearly is when he confronts Madarame and Madarame admits to his face that he saw Yusuke's mother dying and just let her die. He didn't kill her, but he watched her die and it didn't interfere with it so he could steal the art.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucked up. Like, and that was the breaking point for Yusuke, which, good, that better be a breaking point at that point. And he ends up becoming a super awkward character whose Confidant's story is about him doing stuff like going out to the park and watching a couple on the lake and painting them, be like, this is what love is like, true unbridled romantic love, and like, we're brother and sister. Not all people on a boat together are lovers. And it's like, wait, you two are on a boat together. And I was like, oh, cool. So Ren and Yusuke, good couple. But
I'm not complaining.
it's pretty much, it's entirely Yusuke continually did not understand society and humans and things, anything, ever. But he's great, because my favorite trait about him is he is perpetually just recently broke. He always spent his last penny on some art supplies or on some lobsters on the beach or on a very, what is it, a very colorful hat or something? No, a scarf. A very colorful scarf. And he's just always broke and is like, I can't afford food today. I have no money left. It's just like, Yusuke, I get it. Madarame probably handled all money for you. You live in the dorms with like probably a stipend, but like, how are you still doing this? Yusuke's great.
So, yeah, I'm gonna have to eat cardboard for the next couple of days.
Well, he did. I honestly think he just didn't think about it. He's just like, oh, these two lobsters are gorgeous. I must paint them. And he just buys two lobsters. And then he's like, oh, wait, I spent all my money.
Yeah.
Now I have no paint supplies to paint the lobsters. Oops. But, yeah, it's my favorite thing about him. It's not that... My favorite thing isn't that he's broke. It's that he's just recently broke. Always. It always just happened. And I would honestly also put him on A rank. Just below on, but barely. I love my awkward child. You? Inheritance?
I'm thinking, because I like him a lot. I really like his Confidant abilities, where you can have him make the cards. That's super useful.
I didn't do that till the royal content I forgot existed.
Yeah. It's, again, right, for me, because I love playing with the Persona Fusion mechanic. So anything that helps facilitate that is a gift. So it was very good for me to be able to just make all these busted personas with all these great skills all the time, because I was able to make duplicate of really useful cards and stuff. So that alone definitely bumps him up, but like you said, like, his character and his arc is like very relatable. His trauma and like his like dealing with the having to manage his expectations towards somebody who he looked up to, and then the reality of who he actually was. It's like very, very meaningful, right? Like it definitely hits you in a certain way. So like, given all that, I would put him towards the top of A rank. Not quite S, but definitely up there for me.
Yeah, I do have to, I forgot to mention, he does have a great scene where they go to a church and he wants to paint Ren naked.
Yeah.
God, he's so awkward. I just love him. I also love his code name.
Aburage.
No, Inari.
Inari. Aburage.
No, I like Inari. I mean, I wanted him to. I think I told you I wanted him to be allowed to give the name he picked, which what was it? Da Vinci, I think.
Da Vinci, yeah. Da Vinci would have been fantastic.
I was like, why not? Da Vinci's fine.
Yeah, Da Vinci would have been so good.